Okay, so now for an example. So write the equation of a circle with the center point of 4, 2, 4, negative 2, and a radius of 2, and then draw the circle. All right, well, keeping in mind, just a reminder, the general equation of a circle is x minus h, the quantity of x minus h squared, plus the quantity of y minus k squared, and that's equal to r squared. So remember, x and y represent a point on the circle, and then h and k represent what? The center. So we're given the center, and then r represents the radius, and we're given the radius. So I can just go ahead and from this equation, I can substitute back in the values that I do know. So I know my center, h comma k, is 4, negative 2. And then again, I know my radius, r, is equal to 2. Those were given. So I go ahead and substitute those values back into my equation. I get x minus 4 squared plus the quantity of y minus negative 2 squared is equal to 2 squared. And then from here, the only thing that I'm going to do going from this step to the next is, since I have minus a negative, that becomes positive, and then 2 squared is 4. So my final equation is the quantity of x minus 4 squared plus the quantity of y plus 2 squared is equal to 4. And again, this is the general equation. So I'm just going to leave x and y as x and y, because remember, those are just any point that lies on the circle is x, y. For this next example, it says graph the quantity of x plus 1 squared plus the quantity of y minus 2 squared is equal to 16. I realize some of you may not have graph paper at home, so just go ahead and tell me, based off of this equation, where would you put the center of your circle, and then what would be the radius from that center point of this circle? Again, keeping in mind the general formula for a circle is the quantity of x minus h squared plus the quantity of y minus k squared is equal to r squared. Now notice I specifically bolded the minus signs in this equation. And now go ahead and compare the general equation to the equation that I have here. What do you get as your center and as your radius? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this equation using the minus signs in between my x and my h value, and then my y and my k value. So for this first one, it's x plus 1, the quantity of x plus 1 squared. And then the general equation, it's the quantity of x minus h squared. Now, in order to change this addition sign into a subtraction sign, I'm going to go ahead and make, instead of it being x plus 1, I'm going to do x minus negative 1. And I'm going to take that quantity and square it, plus, and here for the second part, y minus 2 is already in the format of y minus k, so I need to make no changes there. And then 16 needs to equal r squared. So what value when you square it gives me 16? Well, 4. So my r value is going to be 4. So now it's 4 squared instead of using 16. Now that I've put it in this format here, I should be able to easily see what is my center value and what is my radius. And what is it? So my center value is going to be negative 1 comma 2, and then the radius is 4.